They promised you vitality in a bottle, energy in a capsule, manhood restored for 49,000 ton. But here's the truth, no one tells you most testosterone supplements marketed to men over 50 don't work. At least not the way you hope they will. And while you're swallowing pills, chasing promises with shiny labels and bold claims, you might be ignoring what really matters, the deeper message your body is trying to send. So let me ask you a hard question. Are you chasing testosterone or chasing hope? Hi, I'm Dr. James Whitmore. And if you're over 50 and feeling tired, disconnected, or low on drive, you're not alone. But there's a natural way to fix it. This message is for you if you've ever stood in the mirror wondering when the spark disappeared from your eyes. If you've woken up more exhausted than when you went to bed. If you've felt that quiet distance growing between you and the person beside you. This is for the moments you don't talk about, the ones that feel like something is slipping away piece by piece. You're not broken. You're not the only one. And you're certainly not finished. We live in a world that sells fast solutions and quick fixes. Testosterone, that sacred fuel of strength, sex, and spirit, has become a billion-dollar product, not a biological truth. Just scroll your phone or walk through a supplement store and you'll see it bottles labeled Alpha Surge Testo Boost or ManFlow 9000. All promising youth in a capsule. But deep down you know the truth. After the second or third bottle, you still feel tired, still foggy, still disconnected from the man you used to be. Let me say this clearly, it's not your fault. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're weak. And it's not just getting older. There's something deeper going on, something you've felt but haven't been told. This struggle doesn't scream, it whispers. It shows up in the forgotten words, the slower mornings, the long pause before standing up from the bed. It's not just about a drop in sex drive or muscle mass. It's about the slow fading of self. That quiet voice that used to say, "Let's go now," barely speaks above a whisper. And the saddest part, most people don't even notice, until it's already been years. But let me be clear, this isn't the end. It's the turning point. Testosterone is not just a hormone. It's a signal, a biological message that your body still has fire in it. It reflects how alive, how grounded, how connected you are to your own vitality. And when that signal starts to dim, it's not just about lab results. It's about presence, clarity, feeling like you again. Here's what's happening under the surface. After the age of 50, testosterone begins to decline about 1% each year. It sounds small, but over a decade, that's a 10 to 15% drop in the hormone that drives motivation, muscle, libido, and even your will to get out of bed. But testosterone isn't the only story. Cortisol, your body's stress hormone, rises, especially if you're carrying years of pressure, unprocessed emotions, or simply living in survival mode. And when cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. Add to that insulin resistance, a condition that silently creeps in as we age, especially with poor diet or sedentary living. It leads to belly fat. And that belly fat, it's not just stubborn, it actively converts your testosterone into estrogen through an enzyme called aromatase. In short, the longer you stay inflamed, stressed, and disconnected from real nourishment and movement, the more your hormones spiral in the wrong direction. And here's the part. The supplement companies don't want you to know no over-the-counter tea booster can override this biology. Let me repeat that. No pill, no matter how flashy the bottle, will work if your system is overwhelmed, your sleep is broken, your diet is spiking your insulin, and your stress is choking your hormones. That's the hard truth. But here's the good news, your body still knows how to heal. It still remembers how to function. It's just waiting for the right signals, not from pills, but from you. Most testosterone supplements use herbs like Tribulus terrestris, fenugreek, or horny goatweed. You've probably seen them advertised as libido enhancers or muscle boosters. But here's what the research says. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology showed that Tribulus terrestris had no significant impact on testosterone levels in aging men. Another large review published in Mayo Clinic Proceedings confirmed that most over-the-counter testosterone boosters lack credible evidence to support their claims. These products may have minor effects on blood flow or arousal, but they do not raise free or total testosterone in a meaningful, lasting way. So why do they keep selling? Because they sell hope. Hope wrapped in capsules. Hope for a feeling you've been missing. But the real path, the one that actually works, is quieter, more honest, and it starts from within. Let's go deeper now. If most testosterone supplements don't work the way they claim, then what does? That answer begins with a shift in perspective. You don't boost testosterone with a shortcut. You nurture it by restoring the entire system it relies on. Think of testosterone not as something to chase, but as a signal, a biological message from your body that says, "I am thriving." That signal doesn't come from hype. It comes from sleep, from nourishment, from connection, from light, from the way you live, not what you swallow. When you align your daily habits with how your body is designed to function, testosterone follows. But when you live in ways that constantly trigger stress, inflammation, or disconnection, that signal fades no matter how many supplements you take. So let's stop outsourcing your power and begin rebuilding it. Not with pills, but with 4 natural research-backed habits, ones that have been with us long before the first bottle of Testo Boost hit the shelves. Start with light. Habit 1, morning light. Before 9 a.m. This one sounds simple, but it may be the most powerful, overlooked trigger for hormone health. Every morning when sunlight hits your skin and eyes, not through a window, but directly from the sky, it resets your circadian rhythm. That rhythm governs when you wake, when you sleep, how deeply you rest, and when your hormones surge. In men, early morning light has been shown to trigger testosterone production and stabilize mood. One study from the University of Cordoba in Spain found that men who spent more time outdoors in the early morning had higher total testosterone levels and more balanced cortisol rhythms. Why? 'Cause morning light reduces melatonin, the sleep hormone, and naturally raises cortisol in the way your body was designed to respond with focus, calm energy, and readiness to act. That's the sweet spot where testosterone thrives. So tomorrow, before you look at your phone, before the noise of the world touches you, step outside. Even 10 minutes will help. Let the light touch your skin. Breathe deeply. Let your body know the day has begun. Let's build. Habit 2, resistance over cardio. Walking is wonderful. It supports your heart, your brain, and your longevity. But if you want to stimulate testosterone, you need to resist. Resistance training. Even just body weight movements tells your body, we are still building. We still need strength. We still need testosterone. Testosterone responds to demand. And when you challenge your muscles with squats, push-ups, or lifting even simple household objects, your endocrine system answers. A study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research showed that older men who performed full-body resistance exercises 3 times per week had significant increases in free testosterone and overall vitality. And they didn't need fancy equipment. You can start right now. Try this 3 rounds of squats to a chair, push-ups against the kitchen counter, a few rows using grocery bags or water jugs. 15 minutes. That's it. You're not training to impress anyone. You're training to remind your body and your brain that you're still here to grow. Habit 3: balance. Blood sugar. You've likely heard about insulin and diabetes, but very few men realize how deeply blood sugar balance affects testosterone. Every time you eat a high-sugar or high-carb meal, cereal, white bread, soda, pasta, your insulin spikes. Over time, those spikes cause your cells to become resistant to insulin. That's bad news for your hormones. Why? Because insulin resistance leads to belly fat. And belly fat contains an enzyme called aromatase, which converts your testosterone into estrogen. Yes, your body literally starts transforming the very hormone you need into the one you don't. But it gets worse. High blood sugar also triggers inflammation. Inflammation blunts hormonal sensitivity and increases oxidative stress, both of which lower testosterone even further. The solution isn't complicated. Eat protein and fat first at every meal. Don't start your day with toast or orange juice. Start with eggs, Greek yogurt, avocado nuts, or clean protein smoothies. A 2022 study published in Nutrition and Metabolism showed that eating protein and fat before carbohydrates reduced blood sugar spikes by up to 40%. That single shift protects your testosterone, your brain, your energy, and your waistline. No pills required. Habit 4. The oxytocin effect. This one may surprise you. One of the most underrated testosterone enhancers is human connection. Science is beginning to uncover how emotional bonding and physical intimacy don't just affect your mood, they affect your hormones. When you share a meaningful moment, a hug, a conversation, a laugh, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. And oxytocin has a direct inverse relationship with cortisol. More oxytocin equals less cortisol. Less cortisol equals more testosterone. But here's the hard truth: men over 50 are among the loneliest groups in the developed world. Even if you're married, even if you're around people, you may still feel emotionally disconnected. And that isolation keeps your hormones trapped in survival mode. That's why you must intentionally reconnect. Call a friend. Hug your partner longer than usual. Look into someone's eyes. Speak honestly. Even 10 seconds of real connection can lower your stress hormones and reignite your body's will to thrive. Testosterone doesn't just respond to effort, it responds to meaning. Your biology doesn't want you to conquer the world. It wants you to belong to it again. That's the deeper message here. Because while supplement bottles scream for your attention, your body is speaking more quietly. It's saying, "Give me what's real." Light, movement, nourishment, connection. These are not soft answers. They are hard truths, ones that most men ignore because they're not marketed as quick or sexy. But they work. They've always worked. And when you realign with these simple principles, your body remembers. It starts to rebuild. Not overnight, but day by day. And you start to feel like yourself again. Not because of what you took, but because of who you chose to become. In the next section, we'll talk about why the supplement industry keeps hiding these truths, and how you can design a daily rhythm that restores your testosterone naturally, without wasting another dollar chasing false hope. Let's pause for a moment and ask a difficult question. If the science is clear, and the habits that actually support testosterone are natural, free, and within reach, then why don't we hear this message more often? Why is it that morning light, protein-first meals, emotional connection, and simple resistance exercises aren't front and center in every men's health campaign? Because quite simply, they can't be bottled. You can't slap a trademark on early morning sunlight. You can't mark up the price of a 10-minute hug. You can't monetize presence or stillness or breath. And yet, those are the very things your body is asking for. See, the testosterone supplement industry isn't built on truth, it's built on fear. Fear of fading, fear of weakness, fear that your best years are behind you and you've missed your window. And that fear is incredibly profitable. In 2023, the global testosterone supplement market was worth more than $3 billion, and it's growing rapidly. Not because supplements are effective, but because men are desperate for answers and are being sold a shortcut that doesn't exist. Everywhere you look, flashy labels, hard-bodied models, words like alpha and beast mode. These companies are selling a promise that you can buy your vitality back. But here's the uncomfortable truth: they know most of it doesn't work. A peer-reviewed study published in the World Journal of Men's Health analyzed 50 popular over-the-counter testosterone boosters. The findings: only 24% had ingredients with any scientific evidence supporting testosterone enhancement. The other 76% were filled with underdosed herbs, proprietary blends designed to hide true dosages, and shockingly even soy-based fillers that could suppress testosterone. But still, these supplements sell. Why? Because hope sells, especially when it's wrapped in desperation. But you don't need to buy into that anymore, because now you know your body isn't broken, it's misaligned. And that means you can begin to rebuild, not by adding more, but by removing what's been in the way. So let's talk about alignment. Your daily rhythm. Let's strip this back to something simple, honest, repeatable. A routine that whispers to your body you are safe, you are seen, you are still strong. We'll break it down into 3 parts: morning, midday, and evening. And each phase will carry one purpose to help your body remember who you are. Morning, signal the sun. Wake gently. No alarms blaring. No scrolling. Just breath. Drink a full glass of water. Step outside for 10 minutes of real sunlight, even on cloudy days. Let the light hit your eyes and your skin. This isn't just for mood. This is to tell your master clock, the hypothalamus, that it's time to produce the hormones of action and focus, including testosterone. While your coffee brews, do 5 minutes of motion. It doesn't have to be a full workout. Just movement. Air squats, push-ups, arm circles, resistance bands, a quick walk around the block. The goal is simple: send a message to your nervous system that you're awake, mobile, and ready to build. Then feed your body with protein and healthy fat. Skip the toast. Skip the cereal. Try eggs with avocado, or Greek yogurt with walnuts, or a protein smoothie with greens, nut butter, and chia seeds. You're not eating to lose weight. You're eating to fuel your chemistry. This combination, light movement, nourishment, sets the tone for your hormones all day long. Midday, reconnect and recharge. This is where most men unknowingly lose their edge. Around noon, cortisol levels naturally dip, and so does your attention. This is when the body needs restorative input, not more stimulation. The fix isn't complicated. Take a walk without your phone. No podcast, no music, just silence and movement. This gives your nervous system space to reset and your testosterone room to breathe. If you can share lunch with someone, call a friend, check in with your partner. Connection is a physiological input, not just an emotional one. Remember, oxytocin lowers cortisol, and cortisol suppresses testosterone. So something as simple as a real conversation helps unlock your hormonal freedom. And if you work from home or sit most of the day, add a 5-minute movement break mid-afternoon. Stretch. Do a few lunges. Shake out your shoulders. Your body doesn't need a gym, it needs a signal that you're still alive and still strong. Evening protect the night. This is where your testosterone is either recharged or robbed. Every night your body produces the most testosterone during the deepest stages of sleep, particularly REM and slow wave sleep. But you only get there if you prepare for rest. Start with light. As the sun goes down, turn off overheads. Use lamps. Dim the brightness. Light is a cue for your brain, and blue light from screens tells your body to delay melatonin, your sleep hormone. Aim to turn off screens at least 45 minutes before bed. Instead, make tea. Read. Stretch. Write one line in a journal. What did I give today? What am I grateful for? These aren't just rituals. They're neurochemical instructions, ones that signal safety, calm, and readiness to repair. And in that quiet space, your testosterone has a chance to rise again. No supplement can replicate this. No pill can replace it. Because what your body craves most is not stimulation. It's rhythm. It's return. You're not just recovering testosterone, you're reclaiming presence. And that's what we'll go even deeper into in the next part, the emotional core of all this. Why this journey is not just about hormones, but about dignity, identity, and the courage to age on your own terms. You've spent a lifetime being strong, holding it all together, carrying more than most people know. You've been the rock, the protector, the provider, the one who pushed through even when your body begged you to slow down. You never asked for credit. You just did what needed to be done. But now, somewhere in the stillness, something has shifted. The fatigue isn't just physical. The silence in your mind isn't just peace, it's something else, a question. Where did I go? See, this is the part no supplement bottle will ever mention. That testosterone isn't just about libido or muscle. It's about identity. It's the energy that helps you feel like you exist. It's the fire behind your eyes when you walk into a room and feel grounded. It's the silent drive that says, I still matter. And when that fades, you don't just lose energy, you lose clarity, you lose presence. And in the quiet hours of the day, maybe even a little hope. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming you. You've spent your entire life giving your time, your energy, your body, your effort, your sacrifice, to work, to family, to responsibility. And you've done it with grace even when no one noticed. But now is the moment where you're allowed to give something back to yourself. Let's be honest. Most men weren't taught how to age with dignity. We were taught to perform, to provide, to protect, and then when our usefulness ran out, to fade quietly. But that's a lie. A cultural script that deserves to be burned. Because aging isn't about decline. It's about evolution. Testosterone may fall, yes. But what rises in its place can be far more powerful: wisdom, clarity, courage, self-respect. You don't have to compete with your 30-year-old self. You're not here to outlift him or outrun him. You're here to become something he could never be whole. Let me tell you a story. A man named Richard, 61 years old, came to me after trying every supplement under the sun. He had the testosterone gel, the powders, the pills. His shelf looked like a chemistry lab. And yet, when he sat across from me, his voice was soft. He said, I don't feel like a man anymore. Not really, I'm not depressed, but I feel invisible. And that broke my heart, because I knew he wasn't alone. We didn't give Richard more pills. We took things away. We stripped it all down. Back to breath. Back to movement. Back to real food, morning light, and honest conversations. He started calling his son again. He took 10-minute walks without a phone. He began cooking dinner once a week, slowly, thoughtfully, with jazz playing in the background. 6 months later, he didn't just feel better. He felt present. He told me I didn't get my youth back. I got my life back. That's what this is really about. Yes, testosterone plays a role, but it's not the finish line. It's a doorway, one that opens when you finally begin to live in a way that honors your own biology. So let's anchor all of this in something you can use. A daily rhythm, not a rigid routine, not another to-do list, but a pattern of living that nourishes your masculine chemistry and your soul. Step 1, reclaim the morning before the emails, before the phone calls, before anyone else's voice touches your mind. Claim your own. 10 minutes of sunlight, 5 minutes of motion, 1 glass of water, and real food protein fat, something that fuels rather than inflames. This isn't self-improvement, it's self-alignment. Step 2, anchor in connection. You don't need 1,000 friends. You need 1 real moment of connection a day. A look, a hug, a kind word, a deep question. Testosterone isn't just fueled by movement, it's fueled by meaning. Because when you feel needed, when you feel loved, your body remembers that it's alive, and it builds accordingly. Step 3, protect the night. This is where most men lose the game. They stay up late scrolling, watching television, snacking, drinking, pushing sleep aside as if it's optional. But deep, undisturbed sleep, especially between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., is when your testosterone is restored. So make your evening sacred. Turn off the screens, lower the lights, make tea, stretch, reflect, breathe. You're not winding down, you're rebuilding. And when you live in this rhythm, even for 7 days, something will shift. Your mind clears, your body responds, your eyes begin to light up again, not because of a pill, but because you're finally living in alignment with how you were designed to thrive. And in the final part, we'll bring it all together. Not just as science or strategy, but as a quiet revolution, a new way to see aging masculinity and the future that still lies ahead of you. Because you're not done. You're becoming. You've spent a lifetime giving. Giving your energy, your strength, your love to your family, your work, your community. You've carried burdens, quietly solved problems no one saw, and stood tall when it would have been easier to collapse. And for years you did it without asking much in return, because that's what strength looked like to you. But now you're standing at a new threshold. The pace has slowed. The noise has quieted. And somewhere in that stillness, you've begun to hear a different voice. Not the one that says, push harder, but the one that whispers, come home. Come home to yourself. To the body you've lived in but neglected. To the mind you've trained but rarely nurtured. To the parts of you that haven't faded, they've just been waiting. This is not about chasing your youth. This is about reclaiming your dignity. Because your strength isn't gone, it's just hidden under layers of fatigue, stress, and cultural noise. Your vitality hasn't vanished. It's simply waiting for you to remove what no longer serves. And your testosterone. It's not a magic number or a marketing slogan. It's a signal, one that rises when your body feels safe, purposeful, connected, and alive. And that feeling, it doesn't come from a bottle. It doesn't come from synthetic gels or overpriced powders. It comes from rhythm. It comes from truth. It comes from the moment you decide, I will live aligned with who I truly am. So if you've felt foggy, tired, like you're disappearing into the background, hear this: you are not fading. You are awakening. And the path forward is not complicated. Try this for 7 days. In the morning, get light. Get breath. Get movement. Fuel your body like it matters because it does. At midday, connect with yourself, with someone you love, with the world outside your screen. Remember that you are not alone, and you never were. In the evening, protect your rest. Make it sacred. Sleep like a man who knows that tomorrow will ask great things of him, and he'll be ready. This is not self-help. This is self-respect. This is you saying, I'm not done. And I don't need to be young to be powerful. You just need to live on your own terms, fully consciously and without shame. Because you're not broken, you're not behind, and you're not out of time. You're one aligned choice away. If this message resonates with you, comment below with the words, I'm ready. Not because it changes anything for me, but because it means everything for you. Say it so your body hears it, so your mind believes it, so the world around you begins to reflect it. And if this helped you in any way, don't miss the next video at these 3 foods to rebuild masculinity naturally. It could be the turning point you've been waiting for. You've given so much of your life to others. Now, give something back to yourself. Because your best years, they're not behind you. They're just one aligned decision away.